Okay, so now I'm going to take the paragraph that I just wrote and I'm going to develop that, pad it out, flesh it out a little bit more with some more information, some more detail, so that we're moving up into a higher range response that's got more of the depth and the analysis that we want to be looking for. So the way I'm going to do that is basically looking at each sentence and also looking in between the sentences for spaces where I need to add more information, either to guide the reader or to make my ideas a little clearer. So the human condition limits power. And I think sometimes your concept statement will work nicely, even just quite simply. So the human condition limits power. At the moment, I can't see a lot of ways that I can improve that just yet. Maybe when I go through part of this, I'll notice some things that I can add to it. So, but for now, I'm just going to leave it. And even as I'm writing it, I'm sort of thinking of ways that, you know what, actually maybe I could. The human condition limits an individual's ability to exercise power. So here I'm thinking mainly about Duncan, okay, because he's a powerful person, but the fact that he's human, okay, means that he can easily be deceived, which means that his power isn't really exercised or made use of.
Sorry, just a question. Doesn't that break with the concept, verb concept?
Okay, so the concept statement equations are just a way to get started. From there, you then develop, you unpack it, you go into more detail, okay, but sometimes you can just keep just a basic one.
Alright.
Alright. So the human condition limits an individual's ability to exercise power. Now I want to be sort of saying, rather than just jumping straight into my technique, ideally I want to be sort of giving the reader some idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to go, let's go, Shakespeare demonstrates or even I might want to just unpack that idea a little bit more. Okay, so okay, their natural human tendencies them from making the best judgments. Right. And again, so this to me, I'm thinking, if this is one that I was writing and was going to submit, I'm thinking along the lines of, I think that this isn't finished. I would be going for, probably once I've done this, there would be one more minor edit of it to make sure that everything flows, so to speak. But at the moment, I'm more concerned about making sure I've got all the most important information in there and that my logical structure still works. So I've got the human condition limits an individual's ability to exercise power. Their natural human tendencies prevent them from making the best judgments. Already I can just, because their natural human tendencies, okay? Shakespeare introduces this idea with the early So I'll just pause there to go through what I've been doing. So Shakespeare introduces this idea with dramatic irony early in the play despite Lady Macbeth's evil intentions, Duncan perceives the castle as having a pleasant seat. So you'll notice there that I'm integrating my quotes rather than just saying in the quote. And then I'm going on to talk about, how that quote is actually working. So I've got the emotive description reinforces. And now this is where I might actually want to go, let's see if I can add a little bit more into this to show a little bit more of my knowledge of the nuances of what's going on in this scene. Right. So now I'm going to go, so I've got this second quote, which is basically directly after that. And I'm noticing a few interesting things there. I've got this idea of the air recommends itself. And nimbly and sweetly. So I'm thinking, well, what exactly do I want to say? It's kind of weird that the air here is recommending it. So basically we've got this real kind of idea that even the natural world is trying to deceive him. The emotive description reinforces the it's not perfect, but
ideas there.
Metaphorically, so I might want to change that to recommends itself. So I've actually got a quote showing how nature has been corrupted to help Lady Macbeth's plans. And this is all before I even go into my second quote. I haven't even really evaluated it yet. So now I can then go on to my evaluation after just checking that I haven't missed anything. So I've got Lady Macbeth's evil intentions, I've got my dramatic irony. If I still talked about the dramatic irony, despite our...
So where is the irony, maybe?
Well, it's dramatic irony, so it's got to be our awareness. I'll pop that in there. So this idea with dramatic irony early in the play, when despite our awareness of Lady Macbeth's evil intentions, and Duncan perceives the castle as having a pleasant seat. Right. The emotive description, which here is referred to there, reinforces the air metaphorically recommending itself, showing how nature has been corrupted to help Lady Macbeth's plans. Shakespeare, so then I'm now down to my evaluation. Shakespeare So Shakespeare here is demonstrating how even the most powerful members of society are prone to deception when evil undermines their better judgment. Okay, so that's pretty much the first half of the paragraph, and I've developed a lot of those ideas in more depth, started to layer it a little bit more. And again, as I said before, I'm sort of thinking, as I'm writing this, I'm going, oh, I need to fix up that, I need to fix up that. But at the moment, I just want to get these ideas down. I can go back and tidy it up a little bit more. Play around with, different types, whether I'm using, my compound or complex sentence structures, whether or not I need some more linking words or linking phrases in there. Maybe I can adjust even some of the terminology, like I'm looking here and going, showing how nature has been corrupted to help Lady Macbeth's plans. And I'm thinking, I know that there's a really good verb that would work there. And so that's where I would go, all right, now I've got these ideas down, I don't have to stress, I can go away and I can go and, you know, look at the thesaurus and find those other words that I want to use to give this that sophistication that it needs.
Sure.
Yep.
And then you have
You
the
can see the
second,
difference between the two.
then you have the second one, additionally the symbolic nature, the symbolism, so that's the second technique comes into the
Yeah,
mix.
so-
Yeah.
Additionally,
So you go with the second, that's good, that's what I was thinking of, yeah. Getting there.
and if we were to go back and sort of colour code this, we would still see all of these same elements. And if we would go back another step, we would still be able to see those elements
We've
in
done all
the
those.
plan.
Yeah.
But we only get to this point if we start with a really strong plan.